Let's have a party. 3 mistakes about managing corporate culture. You are at a party and the mood is bad. The organizer comes in and shouts, "Okay, everybody, listen up. You need to be having fun right now." How well will that work? In this video, we will discuss corporate culture and what it has in common with a party. Hi, I'm Frederik, and my expertise is in the areas of leadership and behavior. I specialize in the behavior of individuals, teams, and organizations, and help leaders and entrepreneurs with their challenges around change and crucial situations. And one of those challenges regularly is managing corporate culture. Everyone knows how important corporate culture is, but what is culture to begin with? Culture is the totality of values, beliefs, and worldviews. So let's look at this a little closer. Values are guides on how we should do things. It's like saying we should do it in a fair way. Beliefs are guides to what we should do. It is like saying we need to focus on the long term. Worldviews are assumptions about how things work. They are functioning as guides to why we should do things. It's like saying we need to stay a premium service provider because this is what the clients want. Those values, beliefs, and worldviews, and to a big chunk they are unwritten or implicit ones, are the basis of the behavioral patterns that we act out. So they are at the foundation of our behavior. As such, they develop also based on the feedback that we get from the outer world. For example, we have the value of being fair. In a meeting, we try to act it out, but one person exploits us as a result. As we experience that it didn't go so well, we might adapt our behavior, our value, or both, until it works out, until we have a new idea on how to act. So, culture emerges from the totality of interactions. The experiences change the culture. You can say that culture is dynamically co-evolving with the real world. A typical situation when people talk about culture is when they think they do not have a specific culture or when they want a different one. For example, not having a feedback culture is an often heard complaint. Another occasion where the discussion about culture comes up is when a merger of companies brings out the need to ask, how will this affect the culture and how do we get the most out of the upcoming change in culture? On both occasions, a wish to influence or change culture emerges, but unfortunately we are prone to committing one of the 3 typical mistakes about corporate culture in those scenarios. So, let's have a look at what these mistakes are. Mistake number 1. Exaggerating and generalizing about the culture. We do not have a feedback culture yet, is what we hear them say. These are the moments where I skeptically ask, no feedback culture? There is no feedback or resonance that anybody is showing ever? And are there maybe very subtle styles of letting another know what you think? Are feedbacks maybe covered and packed into private conversations, exclusively happening behind closed doors? Are there maybe even teams that are already doing a fantastic job of giving feedback? Now, what can we learn from a party? Let's say the mood is, as we heard, not where you envisioned it to be. For example, just a tiny group is dancing. The others are just sitting around. To say it bluntly, you think your party sucks. You tell your friend, see, nobody has fun, this party sucks. However, at the party as well as in an organization, not everyone is doing the same thing. And even if they might, they are not doing it in the same way. One group has fun dancing, and some calmly listen to the music, some talk to others, and so on. It is not accurate to say that nobody is having fun. In an organization, just as at the party, we do not have just one culture. We have many interacting subcultures in different teams, for example, that are connected through maybe a few things we have in common. How well they interact and resonate makes the party or organizations successful or not. The overall culture is always composed of many interacting subcultures. It emerges from the kind of interaction of those subgroups. Still, we simplify and generalize. That is mistake number one. We exaggerate and generalize and just talk about this one culture that you're having. In a complex world, generalizations are generally a bad idea. Did I just generalize? Well, however, generalization is something we tend to do a lot. But it makes us adopt an oversimplified and thus distorted picture of reality with valuable insights and information outside of our attention and focus. This brings us to the next mistake. Mistake number 2, naive diagnosis with actionism. Here's an example. There is a big mistake happening that pops up in the management boardroom. Someone says that this would not have happened if the one person who already saw the thing going wrong some time ago would have just given feedback. So, feedback is the solution to the problem and they are going to introduce it. Back to our party. Remember, the party sucked. You discussed the matter with a friend and then saw a small group of people in the corner having real fun. And you ask yourself, what is different about them? And realize, hey, they are drunk. So the problem is apparent. The others, with the acute lack of fun, are not drunk enough. And you decide to take action on that one. Whenever we engage in naive diagnosis with actionism, we forget to ask essential questions. As we are so happy with now knowing the problem, especially if we already thought about a solution. Questions like, is being drunk really what makes them have fun? Or are they having fun and just happen to be drunk at the same time? Are the others not having fun because they are not drunk? Or is there another cause maybe? We all know you do not need alcohol to have fun, right? In the case of the feedback example, it is questions like, how accurate is the hypothesis that if feedback had been given, the problem would have not occurred? We also do not ask for other indicators showing if, when, and how much feedback is provided already. Maybe this situation was different after all. Perhaps feedback is given and also received, but no action followed because everyone was too busy fixing other things. Many times the naive diagnoses are made and actionism is used by taking the first solution that comes to mind. Not the best, and sometimes not even a viable solution. You choose that and then go with it. This is where mistake number 2 leads us to mistake number 3. Because what do they do given the actionism? Mistake number 3. Culture is not a direct variable. So they tell everybody, you need to give more feedback. And they roll out a feedback method with a nice flyer and a few quick training sessions. And then they wait for feedback to happen. And at the party, the naive solution is to get everyone drunk. Because then they will also have fun and the party goes well, right? So you go to the microphone and say, listen up everybody, we need to have more fun. So we need you to all get drinking more. to accelerate this, we only allow tequila from now on. Plus, we offer mandatory drinking training and we expect you to have fun, okay? So, how well does that work to change the party? This is our mistake number 3. Managing culture as a direct variable. The mood of a party is an indirect variable. Just going to the stage and shouting out something is just not going to work. Especially if you add in your actionism by providing an unqualified solution. The mood of a party is an indirect variable. Going to the stage and shouting something is just not going to work, especially if you add in your actionism by providing an unqualified solution. Indirect variable means you cannot steer it or manipulate it directly. There is no control dial to a culture. So, how do you change a culture if this does not work, you might ask? What you can do is set the conditions. What could you do at the party? Ask yourself. What influences how people have fun at a party? Then you change the circumstances. You might change the music, create an atmosphere with using lights, choose a variety of quality drinks you offer, and start with a smile on your face and let your excellent mood spill over to everybody else and to the guests. So, giving people the directive of we need to give more feedback, everyone, is most likely, even if diagnose and solution that there's not enough feedback might be right, not the right answer. Why would they not be giving feedback at the moment? In how far does this behavior make sense? Are they afraid they get a critical reaction? Are they too busy to engage in those quality conversations as they hectically go through their days chasing from A to B? Are they maybe not caring enough about the others to give real feedback? Did they maybe provide feedback in the past and nothing changed? So they decided it would be stupid to invest more time into feedback? Well, the reasons for the lack of feedback might be diverse and could lie at the bottom of any of those questions. Whatever it is, just the appeal to go ahead and give more feedback does not change the past, the experiences, and also the perception of feedback as an opportunity for the future. Following along might even be seen as a risk by the employees, as any change in behavior might produce unexpected and thus adverse outcomes. When you understood the cause, you can ask, what conditions would allow the proper culture to emerge, and how do I make those changes happen as effectively as possible? How do I enable the people to make the difference that you will then later see as a property of the new culture? The learning is, have a very close look and see in how far culture is a factor for any behavior and where it is maybe not. If the culture needs to change, be aware you can only support your people to be, embody and act out the change that you want to see. But therefore, you need to create the right context where people are feeling happy to take the risk of change, the leap of faith, because they know you and your corporation care about them. Culture changes if there is the right context for people to act out in a caring and emotional way, feeling happy to take risks and being engaged by the lust for creating something awesome together. May it be a legendary party or a legendary corporation. Thanks for watching. If you like it, then like it. Give it a thumbs up, share and comment. Also, leave your questions in the comment section below. Thanks.